Coming up on Tekzilla, iPhone 4.0. It is amazing what you can find on the floor of your local bar. Getting audio out of your PC, Nero 10 reviewed, why water cooling is dead, and Veronica reviews the MacBook Pro. So spin the lid off of the Nutella and start nomming, because Tekzilla starts now. This episode of Tekzilla is made possible by GoToAssist Express, Verizon Droid apps, and Squarespace. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Welcome to Tekzilla, hands-on reviews of the latest tech and how to make the most out of the gear you've already got.
Whether you're a beginner or tech support for your friends and family. What was that noise about?
I always make noises like that.
Do you? Like, oh. If you've got a
I get the pained expression on my face. Come on, family tech support.
I'm trying to say my spiel. The show can't start properly if I don't see my spiel. If you've got a question about tech or a better way to grill asparagus, we've got an answer for you.
And if we don't, we'll track down someone who does.
What we don't have an answer for is how to make your pea not smell that way.
Asparagus pea?
Oh, yeah.
I never had smelled asparagus pea until somebody was like, don't you have asparagus pea? And I was like, I never noticed that before.
Well, some people can't smell that.
And some people don't really sniff their own urine that often, but who knows? Hey, if you're wondering what folks can see on your Facebook profile, like asparagus pea, check out the new Friends, Tags, and Connections section in the privacy controls. You can't actually control anything there, but it's a way to see who's watching who and who's doing what with your Facebook contents.
Facebook security. Since when do you care about Facebook security? Have you ever actually even been on Facebook?
Yes.
Once, at one time?
No, actually, I have an account I've set up. I've approved people I know personally, and I've never actually posted anything on it. But my wife, her family, it's like high school. I don't want to talk about it.
All right, well, can we just skip that and talk iPhone 4 instead? iPhone 4th generation, that is.
Somebody got fired at Apple this morning, or maybe they're down in a dark room being beaten with rubber pipes. Oh. Gizmodo has what everybody is convinced is the next iPhone, plastered all over their website this morning, apparently literally found on the floor of a bar in Redwood City. What's the scoop, V?
Well, apparently Apple has never said there'd be a new iPhone this summer, even though we all kind of want one, those of us who are looking to upgrade, like this guy. But if the last few summers are any indication, that's when they'll drop the next iPhone. And yes, apparently some poor Apple employee or contractor lost their prototype iPhone in a bar in Redwood City this weekend.
Oops.
Yeah, I guess they bought it off the guy who Gizmodo may have paid between $5,000.
We talk about that later.
We talk about that later?
We'll talk about that later.
All right, we'll talk about that later.
The phone.
All right, it's got a new shape with a flat, like ceramic-looking back, an aluminum frame, and what Gizmodo says is a slightly smaller screen than the 3GS, but one that has much higher resolution than the 480 by 320 on the current phones. It's got a front-facing camera, better back camera, bigger lens, a flash for that camera, and the same micro SIM as the iPad. Gizmodo actually gutted the phone and found a, quote, 16% larger battery and Apple Mark components that were shrunken, miniaturized, and reduced to make room for the larger battery. They also couldn't run anything on the new phone since Apple remote wiped it before the Finder turned it over to Gizmodo. The photos and videos are getting huge traffic at Gizmodo, and the rumor is that the site paid $5,000 to get their hands on the phone. Some people are saying as much as $10,000.
As much as $10,000, and actually, I think technically it'll be interesting to find out. I'm pretty sure it could be considered receiving of stolen property, which is a misdemeanor crime in California.
Yeah.
Plus, it's
gonna get sticky.
Actually, the scary part is apparently, Steve, that's the other great rumor, because, you know, rumors are much better than actual, you know, verified reporting, is that Steve Jobs called up Gizmodo this morning. He's like, I want my iPhone back.
Ooh, yeah. I don't think that actually happened, but this is going to go one of two ways. Either Apple's going to kind of stay hush-hush about it and let the whole thing blow over and just make their announcement as usual, or there's going to be some big legal stuff going down.
I'll tell you what, if there's no iPhone release like June, July, I'm blaming Gizmodo.
Oh.
Because it's going to be me and my little cracked 3G waiting for the upgrade.
Newspapers have been paying money for scoops since the beginning of the newspaper age, so I'm not, you know, I just called Gizmodo a newspaper. They're not technically a newspaper, but they may as well be.
News organizations.
Yes.
You have a new baby, we should point out. She's displaying it openly and with great pride. Is it a boy or a girl MacBook Pro?
Oh, you know, well, I haven't named it yet. I think I like my computers to be ladies.
Okay.
So I'm going to say that she does not yet have a name.
Okay.
I am missing my bunny stencil, but this is my brand new 13-inch MacBook Pro that I purchased last week. And I'm happy with it. It's not Core i5, it's not Core i7, it's just a standard Core 2 Duo. But It's running way faster than my 15-inch MacBook Pro from 3 years ago was running.
Your notebook had gotten a little aged.
It had gotten a little aged. This one has 2.4 gigahertz of the Core 2 Duo, like I said. It's got a 500 gigabyte hard drive, not stock. I put that one in myself. There's some pictures of that on my Flickr page right now. It's got 4 gigabytes of DDR3 memory, and it's hefting in at 4.5 pounds. Still much lighter than my 15-inch.
The battery life is stupid.
Yeah.
And the screen
by stupid, we mean stupid good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you actually getting like 10 hours out of it?
I wouldn't say 10 hours. If I turn down the brightness, for example, I went to the cafe the other day, and I had not charged it the entire day before because I'd been sitting with it in the living room, and I was still getting 4 hours of battery life with the brightness turned down. And that was just like, that blows my mind, because it used to be on my 15-inch I had maybe an hour and a half tops, and that was with a brand new battery.
Oh, really? So it wasn't with like a 3-year-old battery?
I had replaced the battery a year before, because my battery had totally died after 2.5 years.
Your 15-inch MacBook sucked that bad for battery life?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And I mean, I knew all the tricks in the book. I would turn off the Wi-Fi and everything if I wasn't using it. I turned all the brightness down.
By turning it into effectively an ebook and not using the processor and turning the screen to the point where...
You could get a little bit of battery life out of it. And it's got this nice 13-inch LED backlit display. One thing I don't love is I wish I had the matte screen. I have the glossy screen because that's the only thing that's available on the 13-inch right now. But I might consider getting one of those covers that mattifies the screen. I'm also looking for a new Jelliskin to put on the front to keep it nice and protected. I
got one from the Jelliskin's, like, they're one of our favorite sources. There's actually some people that do custom skins now. We've talked about that, where you can turn any piece of artwork into your skin. But Jelliskins is a really good one. The British World War II, keep calm and carry on. They actually have one that you can fit on your pretty much any device from any manufacturer.
That's very awesome.
So why'd you go with a 13-inch instead of a 15-inch? Were you just tired of the lunch tray effect of the 15, 17-inch MacBooks?
I mean, pretty much when I'm at work or I'm at home, I've got the computer on a stand and hooked up to a 24-inch display with the external mouse and keyboard. So the real reason is that I travel a lot, obviously, and I wanted something that was a little bit lighter and a little more compact so I could use it on airplanes and an airport with, relative ease. It's only 2 inches, but it makes a big difference after you're carrying it around all day.
It also fits into like every backpack on the planet instead of like just the super huge backpacks.
And frankly, I just don't really need the Core i5 right now. Like, I could have gone with that. It would have been really nice, but already I've seen such a performance boost just having this machine and trimming down all the applications that I had loaded on the old one.
All the cruft.
I started pretty new, so I wiped everything. I didn't do a complete system copy over. I left all my applications and a lot of other junk behind. Just took my system settings and my media files and documents. So it was a nice clean slate.
So are there any real cons to it? I think the mini DisplayPort drives me nuts.
Oh, that does drive me nuts.
Look,
I have
let's go spend another, what, 30, 40 bucks
Yeah, I have to buy
adapter?
2 of them now because I need one for home and I need one for work because I'm never going to remember to carry it with me all the time. And like I said, that's the main way I use my laptop. So the DisplayPort would have, I could have done without that. But I understand that they're moving everything in that direction, so.
Any cons other than that at this point?
No, I can't really say that there is. I was worried that the keyboard would feel a little cramped. It doesn't. I was worried about the screen. It's kind of annoying, but it's not a deal breaker. And I'm just happy to have this small form factor, and just having a new laptop in general is nice.
And it's still got FireWire 800, a pair of ports, and an SD card slot. So
that is nice. I haven't had that on a laptop before. So I was really excited by the SD slot here.
You get used to it. I miss actually having compact flash slots because then I could go straight from my Canon, my Rebel.
My monitor has that. My 24-inch Dell has all the card slots on the side. So if I need that, I can just plug it in that way. But it's nice to know that on the go, I've got the SD right there on the side as well.
So I'm taking
and a working DVD drive. A working DVD drive.
You didn't want to hack the new one in there?
No. No, I got a new one. It works. I'm so excited by that.
Thumbs up?
Thumbs up. Very happy. Very happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 15 and 17-inch are available. The Core i5 and Core i7 are even faster. And you're just excited about this. You're like giggly.
I wouldn't say I'm giggly, but I needed an upgrade, and I'm glad that I finally have it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Why am I dumping my aging water cooling system and buying a $40 air cooler? Find out next when HardOCP.com's Kyle Bennett joins us with a scoop on keeping your CPU cool on the cheap. Let's take a moment to thank one of our sponsors.
Verizon Droid apps have access to every tool the phone has, including the compass, GPS, accelerometer, image capture, and for those who love watching their shows on the go, a video player. The power of the Android apps allows them to run in the background for true multitasking support, background alerts, and enhancement of each other's performance. Verizon's dominant network and 3G coverage create an unparalleled mobile data solution to keep you connected to the web and allow you to run heavy data-rich features anytime, anywhere. And with the ever-expanding Android market, you'll always be able to quickly download the apps you need to get the most out of your Droid. So if you're looking for some apps to get awesome video playback, don't miss top picks like the Discovery Channel app, TV.com, eOnline, and more, all of which offer the most recent video content right to your Droid. Just head over to droiddoes.com to find new apps for your Verizon Droid.
Last week I got adventurous. I was hacking dry ice onto an old Zalman cooler, basically to see how low I could drop my CPU temps. About 5 minutes after we stopped taping, deadlines are a pain. I ran my infrared thermometer across the bottom of the cooler and found out that there was a huge difference in temperature from one side to the other, almost 40 degrees. In any case, I started reading up on some of the latest CPU cooler reviews up on hardocp.com and noticed that, in the words of the site's founder Kyle Bennett, good air cooling is really hard to beat now. Look, it's crazy. I'm going to get Kyle up here. Kyle Bennett, hardocp.com. Dude, you've got $40 air coolers that are doing better than the water cooling system that came in the Blackbird case that I recycled for this setup. What's going on with air coolers, man?
You know, we've been following air coolers now for about 12 years, and they have changed. They have advanced so much. There's been an evolutionary step. There hadn't been anything revolutionary in it besides the heat pipe about 4 years ago. But what you're seeing now are coolers on the market. There's a ton of competition. They're easy to make now, and as long as you have good circulation in your case, this is the whole key to good air cooling, is making sure you have good circulation in your case. If you're getting good ambient temperature air into your case to bring across those heat sinks, you can get a $40 heat sink now, which is one of the huge tower ones that give you some really great results.
So I noticed we're talking about, like, 40 degrees Celsius, 30 degrees Celsius for ambient temperatures in a 25 degrees Celsius room. That's pretty good for an overclocked CPU.
Yeah, the heat pipes that they're using on these new coolers pull the heat off the cold plates so quickly, and now you've got 120 millimeter fans. They've got great airflow across them without being really loud. So as long as you're able to, again, to exhaust that hot air from the case and keep an ambient temperature in your case that's relatively low, these air coolers have absolutely no problem pulling that kind of heat off the CPU.
You mentioned you said budget air cooling does not get better than the Co-Gauge True Spirit. This is a $40 CPU cooler that's basically running with stuff that costs $60, $100. I mean, is there any expensive heat sink at this point that's worth the money, or air cooler?
Well, yes, there is. Now let's be specific here. And
okay.
Like the lower price coolers you see are not the best in the market. Okay, they are going to handle some minimal overclocks, and I say minimal, they're going to handle some really good overclocks, but they're not going to handle those ragged out to the edge 4 gigahertz overclocks. I built a system for a buddy last night using a brand new i7 930 that he picked up at Micro Center for $200. We used a $44 cooler from Fry's. It was a Titan cooler. It was one of the bigger tower coolers, and we were able to get a solid 3.5 gigahertz overclock at stock voltage on the core.
That's pretty good.
So now you can jump up when you generally talk jumping up in price. You mentioned the Co-Gauge. It was around $40. Co-Gauge is actually a brand of Thermalright.
Okay. And
Thermalright's been in the business for years and years now, and they still make what is probably the epitome of the best overclockers air cooler out there, which is the Thermalright Ultra Extreme 120.
Is water cooling dead, except at the super high end, I'm gonna set new records, overclocking mayhem?
Well, I'm sitting here telling you how great air cooling is, but none of my systems here are air cooled. First, I still water cool all my systems. And one of the things, and this comes back to airflow and ambient temperatures in the case, the one great thing that water cooling still has going for it is the fact that it removes that heat from the case. So you're exhausting that outside of the chassis almost 100% of the time. So, and then you can build a loop. You can put a chipset cooler, you can do a video card cooler, you can do your CPU cooler. So you can cool a lot of different components inside your case, and get all that heat outside of your case, so you're not hot boxing the rest of your components.
Let's talk about setup for a second. I've been amazed in the last year. I've been spending a lot of time yanking heat sinks off of coolers off of processors and putting them back on. It seems like the thermal compound that comes with a cooler is almost invariably the worst stuff on the planet. I mean, I've dropped 10 degrees on my core temps by going from the little tiny tube that came in the box to some Arctic Silver or some of the other ones out there. What's your favorite for you know, or did I just get the one with peanut butter or cheese in it instead of actual thermal compound?
You know, thermal compounds have come along a long ways, just like the air coolers have. Mm-hmm. Honestly, a lot of the thermal compounds you get with the air coolers nowadays are very, very good.
So I'm just getting the unlucky boxes?
Well, yeah. You know, if you go back and look, we've done a lot of testing on this in the last year, mm-hmm. and there are absolutely some better thermal compounds on the market. And I believe we had a conversation about I forget the blue one that was set the other day.
The one where you like light your processor on fire and it disseminates into a perfect pattern. And
exactly that. And so, you know, you've got from $10 installations to less than 25-cent installations. Mm-hmm. Of stuff that's really, really good. And I think the Shin Etsu E751, I looked that up at SVC, where you could buy it with free shipping. Yeah. And it was like $2 a gram or $3 a gram. So that's one of the best available. So mm-hmm. if you shop around, you know, you can drop a lot of money on thermal interface material. But the bottom line is, it's probably not a really good idea to do so unless you just got $10-20 to give away to somebody else.
I know you're running out of time. You got stuff to do this afternoon. What are your favorite CPUs right now for overclocking, Kyle?
I am still very much a fan of the i7, the Core i7 750 mm-hmm. on the LGA 1156. And if you're going to be building an x58 system on 1366 socket, the i7 930 right now is a scorcher.
Yeah, I'm like, my 920, I can't believe how high I'm overclocking it at this point. It makes me happy.
I've still got my system, and my i20's been running for a long time now at 1.1 V-core at 3.6 gigahertz, and we load it up all the time doing encodes with it. So
they're super stable as long as you got decent cooling.
They are rock solid, is what it comes down to if you cool them right. And you can still you can pull 3.4, 3.5 gigahertz overclocks with those processors with air cooling, mm-hmm. as long as you keep your airflow in your case working well.
What's coming up on hardocp.com? What's got you guys excited right now?
Oh, well, you know, we're watching to see, you know, the GTX 480 and 470s launched here recently, not to a lot of fanfare, but there's been a lot of talk about those. And when you start talking about heat and power, you can certainly talk about NVIDIA's video cards. So we're starting to see a lot of those get into readers' hands, or they're starting to trickle out there, and we're starting to get feedback. You know, on that side, video cards are always exciting. So we've seen NVIDIA produce the fastest GPU that's out there, and we've seen AMD produce probably the most efficient and best valued GPU out there. So it's always good to watch what the guys have to say about that now that they're getting product back in their own hands.
Kyle Bennett, founder, chief maven over at hardocp.com. You look for hardware reviews, take some time, spend it on that website. You will enjoy it.
Just last week, my mom was having some trouble with her computer. She's on a pretty old machine and doesn't always know how to fix it when things are going wrong. All I had to do was send her an email with my GoToAssist Express link, and I was able to hop onto her machine, no problem. The whole thing took about 5 minutes to fix, and I didn't have to waste time with explanations over the phone. As long as you both have an internet connection, GoToAssist Express makes it painless to help people with their computer troubles, share a screen, and live chat, regardless of whether you're on a Mac or a PC. It can save you time, money, and a whole lot of frustration. Try GoToAssist Express free for 30 days. For this special offer, you must visit GoToAssist.com/Tekzilla. That's GoToAssist.com/Tekzilla for a free trial. Looks like it's time for another website we just can't get enough of. A website that we just can't stay away from because it's too useful, too funny, and just too darn irresistible. This week's pick, flavors.me. If you're looking for a quick and elegant way to bring together all of your social networking sites into one place, try flavors.me. In about 10 minutes, you can put together a simple homepage that links to all your places online. Here's how it works. When you sign up, you're immediately brought to your homepage. There, using the extremely simple tools, you can enter in all your info through the design panel. Enter in your About info, all of your services like Twitter, Facebook, Flickr, the usual suspects. Then head to the design area to pick out your layouts, backgrounds, colors, fonts, etc. You have to give Flavors.me third-party access to your sites, which some folks might not be comfortable with. And if you really like the service, you can upgrade your account so you can use it with your own domain for $20 a year. You'll also have access to site stats and a contact form with a premium account. So if you're looking for a quick and simple way to connect all your social networks into one place, check out Flavors.me today. And thanks to John M. for the suggestion.
Nero is synonymous with burning CDs and DVDs and quite a bit more, from video editing to transcoding. And you know what? Let's get Roger Chang on. He has been reviewing the product. I gotta ask, does anybody really, with all the free products out there, does anybody really need to buy burning software?
Honestly, no, you don't.
If all you need to do is burn.
If all you want to do is burn out a music CD, a data CD, or DVD, or stuff like that, no, you don't. What Nero 10 multimedia, the Nero Multimedia Suite 10 does is incorporate several different packages, of which Nero Burning ROM is one.
Right.
The other two is Nero Vision Extra and Nero Back It Up and Burn, which is archiving, safekeeping storage utility to back up all your stuff.
So I gotta ask, Nero Vision Extra, is that multimedia playback or is that editing software, or what is that?
That is editing. So for example, if I wanted to take all the shows I've recorded or take all the home movies I've made, I can edit it using their application. And I have to say, it's a really darn good one.
This I should point out, as someone who has been working with and observing Roger for years, I've never actually seen him say anything nice about a consumer video editing program.
Typically, consumer-oriented video editing products are kind of geared toward the very low end. In other words, people who've never done it before, so they have a very simplified, walk you through it, hold your hand interface. Nero Vision Extra essentially assumes that you already know what you're doing. It doesn't give you all the features of, say, a Premiere Pro, a Final Cut Pro, or even a Final Cut Express, but it gives you enough. So, hey, if I wanted to slap together, you know, the bachelor party video I made, I can do that. If I wanted to do like one of those fan subs that people do on YouTube, where you know they take the anime and they put their own dialogue in it, which is really gross, in it as well, you can do that. And the great thing, for example, you look at it, you get multi-track editing, something you don't normally find in a package that's $70. Now,
and that's just one component.
And that's just one component.
Secure disk technology, what is that?
So they have this thing, a technology called secure disk technology, which allows you to lock down an optical disk.
Will it work with any optical disc? Or
no,
any optical
you
disc
can use any media, any optical media you want.
Right.
So a CD, Blu-ray, DVD.
However,
but you need a drive that is secure disk enabled in order to write to it as well as read from it.
So basically, what's the difference between that and just, you know, using regular encryption on the disk? Is this easier?
I guess it's considered to be more seamless, so you're not busy.
You couldn't use it because you didn't have a compatible DVD drive, did you?
Well, see, that's pretty. That's one of the things that. Well, actually, that was kind of the annoying thing. Is there a lot of features in here that I probably wouldn't use, but it's mixed in with a lot of stuff I would use. Now, for example, you're talking about the secure disk technology. They actually have something called disk span and disk merge, which allows you to spread across multiple CDs, DVDs, or Blu-ray discs, a file that's too big to fit on just one. You know, it's pretty sensible. It's not something I don't think everyone would use, but for situations like ours, I think it makes a lot more.
Or if you want to do one
sense.
Crazy backup of your 1 terabyte drive, and you want to throw DVDs in it all day long.
And you know what? You know, optical discs are great because you can still store them in a safety deposit box or leave it at someone else's house, and not a hard drive that, oh, I have other stuff on it, I need to have it with me.
There's also like a media playback component, Media Hub. Is it designed for like lean back in the living room, or is it designed for hunkering over your computer?
It's still designed around a PC interface, and it's essentially just a media organization manager, and it does your music, photos, videos. And one of the plus sides I found is it supports the Windows Media Center recording format.
Oh, really?
I mean, granted, it's only, I think it's an MPEG 2 or MPEG 4. It's nothing difficult, but it's in a wrapper. And I can play it, you know, straight off the bat. So if
that doesn't play in a lot of media playback devices.
No, it doesn't.
Whatever.
And, you know, I can watch my episode of Smallville that I recorded. This was like 2 months ago, I think, this episode of Smallville. And I can watch it just fine. It also includes a simple photo editor. So all these photos I have, I can do simple editing. Like if I wanted to crop, do red eye reduction, do those kind of effects that I guess people enjoy, like sepia or sharpen or blur and stuff like that.
So obviously, okay, media management, media creation, media editing. Is there any batch processing and transcoding tools? Does it do hardware acceleration?
So I have not found any batch tools that allow me to do a group of items like I would say in Adobe Photoshop. But it does have transcoding tools. They're actually very useful, but they're very difficult to get to if all you want to do is say transfer from one file format to another. Because it's all built around, you're going to end up with a disk. So all the wizards and stuff are kind of designed that you're going to end up with a disk. At one point, yeah, you can select, choose what format.
You sure there's no way to just copy a whole folder, or you just haven't found it?
I haven't found it, and it might be buried in there, but I was going through the manual, I couldn't find it. That said, it does allow you to do direct YouTube, MySpace uploads. So if you want a video clip, I can click publish, and then I can say upload, and then I can choose where I want to upload it to as soon as it comes up. And actually, this is the one annoying thing, is that you'll notice that a lot of these interface buttons aren't exactly uniform across all the products, so it's kind of jarring when you bounce around between separate applications.
So one last thing before we go, does it do hardware acceleration for offloading the CPU to the GPU and transcoding for
Yes,
API
it supports
NVIDIA?
NVIDIA's CUDA, so that means if you have an NVIDIA card that has CUDA support in it, the transcoding application will take advantage of it and speed up by offloading off your CPU onto the
considerably
video card.
less time. What's the bottom line?
Bottom line, for 70 bucks, I think it's a great buy if you don't have all these products. So if you have all of them and you just want the video editor, you can buy it separately.
Oh, really?
Because it's part of Nero Video Extras. But if you want everything, including it has a really solid backup tool. 70 bucks, you really can't go wrong.
So that's a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Ladies and gentlemen, he likes it, people. Coming up next, audiophile, audio options for your PC, the best virtualization tools for OS X, and quite possibly clothing that talks to Facebook. But first, let's take a moment to thank one of our sponsors, Squarespace. It's a website that's a publishing system and hosting. Look, you want to build a blog, a portfolio, any kind of website, consider hosting it and building it with Squarespace.com. It's a pretty cool tool. Look, I cannot code my way out of a paper bag. My wife can, and even she was pretty impressed with how flexible and powerful the tools inside of Squarespace were to allow you to build big, complex websites fast without any coding. You're going to get the same functionality you'll find, well, on any website, and you're going to do it without having to code. This is cool. Now, you already got a website? Not to worry. They've got a site importer tool that makes it really easy to move your existing site over, at least if it's on WordPress, Blogger, TypePad, or movable type. You'll get your posts, your comments, your tags, your authors, your media, and your search engine optimization efforts. All that's going to be moved over into your Squarespace.com site. Even page ranks will update seamlessly. That's pretty slick. Now, if you want to score a discount, I bet you do. Check it out. You get like 2 weeks of a free trial. Then Squarespace is going to ask you if you want to buy in. If you do, enter in the code Tekzilla when you check out. You'll score 10% off for the lifetime of your order. That could be a lot of money you save over time. Check it out now, people. Squarespace.com.
Andy wrote in looking to upgrade his sound card. He says, I currently have an eMove 0404 sound cards connected to his Blue Sky International Media Desk 2.1. It's a great setup, but I'm looking for a better sound quality. I'm thinking about getting an Asus Sonar ST, but I've never heard it before. Do you have any recommendations, Andy?
I gotta say, I want to point out, your eMove 404 is considered pretty solid. It's gotten some great reviews. People like the way it sounds. So you may want to, look, if you're looking to experiment or find something better, or at least something that sounds a little different, the Zonar is definitely worth checking out. Stereophile, which is a big, fat, high-end, like their idea of mid-range seems to be several $1,000s. They just tested the Asus Zonar cards, sound cards in their January issue. The reviewer, John Atkinson, he's a legend, he's a myth. He's responsible for a lot of amazing audio companies getting like famous. I quote, the Zonar Essence STX and Essence ST sound cards are by far the least expensive way of turning a PC into a genuine high-resolution audio source I have yet encountered. Neither the Essence's resolution nor their low levels of noise are compromised by having to operate in the electrically unfriendly environment of a computer chassis. Look, John Atkinson, John Atkinson is the kind of guy that takes $100,000 speaker sets seriously, and he's usually testing stuff that costs more than my truck and my wife's wagon put together times 2.
Who wouldn't take that seriously? Who wouldn't take $100,000 speakers seriously?
I usually can't. You know, house or
I think
speaker?
It's less that he takes it seriously and more that he takes them realistically.
Okay.
You see what I mean? You see the difference there?
I guess so.
It's like he is such an audiophile that he's like, $100,000 speaker system. Why not? It sounds better.
Hey, so if he says a 200 sound card sounds amazing, it probably sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Look, there are a lot of ways to step up on your audio depending on how much you want to spend. A lot of folks like external DACs. I love the Headroom Micro DAC. StereoLink makes a good external jack. The DAC jack that's super cheap. Digital analog converter takes the digital signal off your USB port and spits it into something your speakers and amp will understand. M Audio, I mean, there are dozens and dozens of options.
Yeah, just to be forewarned, as soon as you start thinking audiophile, it's easy to start paying lots of money for something that might not sound that much different in real life. You know, says the people that would, you know, spend at least $200 or $300 on a pair of headphones.
Several.
I don't know anything about that.
Nope, not me. I don't own 3 headphone amps. Yeah. Our final question comes from Harry out in Falcon, Colorado. He writes in, I'm running Boot Camp on my iMac when I want to use Windows programs. Unfortunately, I can't run Boot Camp and Mac applications simultaneously. There are 2 products I've found that can run Windows apps and Mac apps simultaneously, Fusion and Parallels. Their prices are within a few dollars of each other. I've asked at a nearby Apple store whether I should buy VMware's Fusion or Parallels Desktop, and the usually helpful store employees, quote, clam up. Which one do you guys recommend, Harry?
Well, Harry, they probably haven't answered because it's such a huge question with many different answers. For example, what kind of apps are you going to be running? It's going to be Windows Vista, Windows 7, 64-bit, or 32-bit. If you really want to learn all there is to know, check out the head-to-head virtualization benchmarking guide from MacTech.
This is unhinged.
It is like, it's 8 pages long. They spent literally months testing out Parallels and Fusion on a variety of different systems and running all sorts of different benchmark applications and all sorts of stuff. This is the iMac they tested on. They have a 4GB iMac Intel Core 2 Duo processor, specifically the iMac 21.5-inch, you know, 3.06 gigahertz, 4 gigabytes, 500 gigabytes NVIDIA GeForce 9400M, from late 2009. If that's close to the one that you have, then your results should be pretty similar. As a broad generalization, though, it seems that Parallels comes in pretty much on top in terms of most of the categories that they tested in.
Yeah, I think Parallels definitely has the lead right now. There is a free trial up at parallels.com. You should also think about checking out VirtualBox first. It's an open source virtual machine tool, basically that emulating Windows inside of OS X. It's supported by Oracle. Oracle has money they seem to be throwing it at VirtualBox development. If VirtualBox won't run the applications you want, you can then turn around and buy or trial the latest version of Parallels and import the image you created for VirtualBox.
Yeah, say that 5 times fast.
No, because
VirtualBox. That was pretty close.
Well, at least one of us can say it. If you like to fight flames on the message boards and not in the kitchen, you're going to love Revision 3's new interactive cooking show, Food Mob. Join host Niall Harbison for the premiere this Thursday, where he cooks up a luxurious breakfast dish. And after that, you can tune in to see a new dish every Thursday at revision3.com/foodmob.
Food Mob!
Food Mob. Now I want you to basically make what he's making and share it with everybody so he can share it back with you in this big happy feedback loop of, in this case, yummy pancake.
Food Mob! We recorded that. So thank you guys all for watching. We live on your questions, so email us, Tekzilla at revision3.com. Tech help, product reviews, how-tos, you ask us, we'll do it, but we need those emails first, so don't be shy. Send them on in to Tekzilla at revision3.com.
Want to up your odds of getting your question answered right here on the show? Send us a video question. We miss them. We'd like to see some more of them. Get creative. Don't get creative. Just
and
keep
don't mark them as private, because then we can't see them.
Yeah, that makes it a little awkward.
I know you might be a little embarrassed, but
Aww.
It's just us.
It's just, yeah, you know us.
It's just us. We're your pals.
We're on your notebook. We're reading your emails, just like that cat in the lolcat page. Just give it 15 seconds, upload it to YouTube, and send us a link in an email with video question as the subject line. On next week's show, we've got hard drive recovery, getting GPS onto the iPad, and a giant pile of tacos.
Wait, real tacos?
Real tacos.
Like not like iPad tacos or like the taco
like tacos
app
that will make you fat if you eat 40 of them.
Not like, hey guys, we'll tell you the best place to get tacos in Southern California, tacos.
Tacos like Taco Bell, except
like
better.
that I put in my tummy?
That's the tacos
like
we're
actually
talking
here
about.
on the set. Like I shouldn't eat lunch because we're going to have a pile of tacos kind
Thanks
of tacos.
so much for watching. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Taco Belmont.
Until next time, you've been watching Takozilla. Speed? Come on, give me some speed. Speed! Count me in! God, Roger.
Mother pooper.
Yeah, see?
Poopy caca.
Yeah! We'll get all G-rated on us.